So this is Roddy. He arrived just today. He was born yesterday. So his umbilical cord is still attached. He's very, very tiny and has a little hiccup.
So little Roddy was the first orphan of the season, coming in on the 1st of October. So it was kind of an early season. His mother, we assume, was hit by a car, and he was found alone on the side of the roadside. Fortunately, the people knew about us, and he was brought through fairly quickly to the sanctuary. Well, it didn't take little Roddy too long to start getting around. A happier little face I haven't seen before, and very excited. Of course, this is like having your first child, especially for the beginning of the season. So, of course, everybody's eager to look after him and make sure he's having the best and most comfortable time as possible. Well, you can already see the change in little Roddy, maturing a little bit. Here he's at the intro cage getting ready to meet some foster moms, and he's basically ended up with the higher hierarchy. Not that it's going to make any difference for a little male, but Changuito is one of the ones that he looks after him. She was born in the troop in 2013. To Paradise, so she's also very, very high ranked. And then of course Martha spends a lot of time with him. She was born in 2012, also to Paradise, so one of Paradise's kids. So it looks like he's going to fall into that kind of family or family group, at least until he's 4 years old. So, and then we also have Pan. Pan also looks after him now and again. And she was also born in the troop to Paradise, so he's definitely in the royal family.
Hello, Hannah. Hello, Hannah. No. You're going to go to... Oh, baby. Wasn't that bad? Here you go. Let's go to Connie. Hey, sweetie. Hey, Connie. Here you go.
I was like, who is this new person?
It's okay,
I know. Oh, big scary face, I know.
Well, Cappy was the second little male to arrive on the 13th of October, so 2 weeks old, so more or less born the same time as little Roddy, except people tried to keep this one as a little pet. Fortunately, the local SPCA got wind of it, managed to confiscate him and get him through to another partner primate place called Chimp Eden, and we did the long drive all the way down there to go and fetch little Cappy, and of course bring him through to the foundation. Of course, the two little ones growing up now together, little Cappy and Roddy. At least now little Roddy's got a friend, and you can see how well these two have quickly acclimatized to each other. And having a little bit of fun around the foundation, well, around Disneyland, of course, and getting to know the ins and outs. One of the big things here to pay attention to is how quickly these little guys are maturing. because this is basically the age that everybody thinks they make fantastic pets. Now this age is only going to last 2 or 3 weeks before they start maturing enough that they want to start getting away from their moms. So it's a very short period that these guys are little babies, and babies that think that people think they're cute and really want one. This stage does not last very long. As I say, the max is 2 to 3 weeks, and after that they want to start exploring. The little teeth start coming out, and of course then the situation changes quite dramatically. So Cappy of course also went over with Roddy to the hierarchy, or to the higher echelon of the troop, Pan and Martha, and so that's who looked after them. So you can actually see how amazing it is, the change in these little ones, confidence coming out there. We have a look at them here as they've gone out into the troop, and those little faces. Just see how Cappy's actually changed here in the skunky enclosure, having a look around, just typical naughty little boys. So it's fantastic just to see what they were originally and what the little bugger looks like now. Well, I suppose we could have guessed the first little girl of the season, making as much noise as possible. But of course we don't know what trauma this little one actually went through. Daisy May was found alone, apparently, seemingly abandoned, which isn't normal. So normally this comes from sometimes shooting incidences and things like that, with little orphans left behind for one or other reason. Was handed in at Chimp Eden, and we collected her from there. So of course extra special care always goes into the first little girl of the season, and to see how she goes. They're not quite the same as boys, but she really was missing her mom. I don't want to say they're a little bit more intelligent than boys, but yes, she learned how to drink from the feeding cage very, very quickly without any problems. You can see the other 2 milk bottles there waiting for the boys who haven't come around to drink it, but she's in there showing them up and already drinking strongly. And Pan, of course, fell in love with little Daisy May, and of course she's taken her over as her own. So that didn't take very long. So at least you can see how happy little Daisy May was. Didn't take too long for her to get her mom, and happy and comfortable there now with Pan. So here of course we have the whole little group of them, brothers and sisters all together. with their foster moms, all getting ready to be introduced to the troop. Have you ever seen a mom so peaceful? This one's just sleeping there, quite content with the little ones. I think this is Pan and Martha, and they're quite happy with these new little guys. Can already see the change in little Daisy May's face as she's maturing. Happy with her two moms that are looking after her, and she's also settled in very, very well. So just amazing to see what the little one looked like when she came in. This is her now, eating a little bit of mango or pawpaw on one of the tree branches, but yeah, it's quite a little bit of a transition.
From Marlow Park. He looks extremely tiny.
You see the same as well.
Okay, let's put some ingredients. It's okay, baby. Oh. Alright.
Well, little Finley, he was found clinging to his dead mother. She was hit by a car. You can see his little tail got damaged in the process. He's actually got a little bit of head trauma, and so a little bit more of a serious case. And of course, fantastic volunteers who have brought him through all the way from Nelspruit side through to Hoedspruit, where we've met them here, and at least we can carrying him on back through to the foundation.
Very good help. Thank you so much for bringing.
Thank you very much.
I'll follow you what I can.
That's perfect. Thank you so much.
Anything else, I'll just
Speak to Debbie. All right, perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
All right
guys.
then, travel safe, man.
We will. Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Well, you can already see the little change in him from a couple of days. Already starting to climb. He's lost the end of his little tail and progressing fairly rapidly.
Leave your little thumb. Oh, Terry, he doesn't like that. He doesn't like that. I know.
That sounds good. Will that work? My little one is going somewhere out of the way. Oh! Just a little bit.
Of course, it's always something to get them to take their milk. You must remember the change in the milk is quite something from their mom's milk, although these little ones haven't really had much chance to try their mother's milk, so they wouldn't really know. But it is still a little bit of adaptation, and we have to make sure they drink a certain amount of milk in a certain amount of time, which, as you can imagine, is not the easiest thing.
There we go. And just wrap that under your chin. There we are. Yeah, there we go. Oh. He's not overly impressed. Okay.
Finley was adopted by Kate. Kate was born in 2015. She also arrived as an orphan. Her mother was killed by dogs, and our driver Sammy actually confiscated her off someone who was trying to sell her on the side of the road. So she's certainly also had a little bit of a traumatic upbringing, and loves bringing up the little ones. And yeah, you can see how well Finley's doing with her, both out there foraging and finding nice food. Kate really loves babies and can get very anxious in the intro cage just trying to get them out, so it's not always easy to keep her in there. But yeah, just look at little Finley and the difference already. Happy to be out there with his foster mom. Net van julle te kry ook. Dat julle hom gebring het, dankie. Well, little mini Max arrived, found alone on a farm in Louis Tricard. This little one had a broken leg, and we had to get a pin and a plate inserted, and just to help him along. So again, not really too sure on the circumstances, why this happened or what. Could have been another motor vehicle accident, but anyway, each one comes in with their own little story, and yeah, you can see a little happy baby, really glad to get some milk and start drinking, and get himself on the way. Mini Max is seen here with Dolly, who first adopted him. She's quite an old lady. She was integrated in the troop in around about 2012. She does not really like people, so it is also a good thing. It keeps the youngsters away from everybody. Later on, Mini Max was actually taken over by Tesha, another female. She arrived in 2018 at 8 months old. Found behind a fridge in a game lodge, and wasn't really doing too well. So also orphan with a little bit of a background, and but you can just see how well Mini Max is actually doing here and settled in. So from that little baby coming in there with a broken little leg and everything like that, out here you can't even see there was a problem with his leg, and doing extremely well now in the troop.
Boy. Oh, it's very dark. Very dark in here, huh?
Little Oswald, another male, was found alone in a tree out in a town called Louis Tricard. Very, very dehydrated and skinny, very lethargic on arrival. So another one of these cases that we had to drive some distance to go pick it up, but we had some fantastic people there who brought him halfway, which was great.
So we're day 2 for Oswald. It's first thing in the morning. He's very screamy. He didn't sleep too well last night. He needed a lot of comforting. So it appears he has been kept by humans for a little longer than we were told. And he's still a little nervous. Every time there's a sound outside he screams a bit, but he's starting to settle down. He was quite dehydrated, but he's had quite a drink of rehydration this morning. He's beginning to eat. So he arrived quite late yesterday, so he'll have a full day today, so hopefully that helps him a lot.
So it's always difficult to know what these little ones have been through, but this is that little age where everybody thinks they're amazing and cute. You just got to remember there's constant screaming and crying because they've missed their mother. that they've lost for whatever reason. Feeding is basically every 2 hours. Every 2 hours you have to wake up, make sure this little one gets the right amount of food, and of course they don't always like the bottle, so it is a struggle to try and get them to drink. So this is something that goes on constantly. So a lot of dedication that you actually have to put into in the first couple of weeks of this little one's life. But they do grow up extremely quickly. Here you can see how soon it's drinking on its own from a feeding cage, not many weeks later. And then of course we're ready to start introducing them into the enclosure or finding foster moms. They find their moms at about 3 months of age, when they want to become a little bit more independent and they don't want to be with mom anymore. Their little teeth have come out already. They can start biting a little bit. And of course this is also when we start getting the little orphans in, because they might look small, but it's got a strong little jaw and they're very determined. They're very determined to get their own way. It's part of their makeup. And of course this is when the abuse of these little orphans come in, where people try and teach them not to bite and not to do the behaviors that they would naturally have out into the wild, and try and convert them into some kind of pseudo-humans. But that really and truly doesn't work. So you can already see here the difference. There we have the mom looking after little Oswald. Just met her mom for the first time. This is Luca. She was born in around about 2010. She was found by people while they were out hunting, so we're not too sure if they actually shot her mom. Was integrated in the troop in 2012. She basically brought up Irene and Lux. She's a very good foster mom, and of course now she's doing the same for Oswald. You can see Oswald is very clingy to his mom at the moment, but this will change over time. Well, it was just a little update just to see how these little ones are doing. We'll have a further update of the others next week. I hope you do enjoyed it. I am going to emphasize the pet factor. Please people, these little animals don't make good pets. They grow up very quickly. That's why I keep saying you don't get such a thing as a baby monkey. It's already fully grown practically by the age of 1, where they can bite very badly. They want the independence. They want to be out on their own little personalities, and they don't do very well in a cage or in a confined environment. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.